SI Daftar Raini with NIM 2017-40-2001. Education is process of achieving certain goals so that in the end education creates people with special abilities. Intellectual education is also very obligatory for all Indonesian citizens because education is needed to achieve the goals of educating the life of the. As we all know, education in Indonesia is very unequal in terms of regional autonomy. Education that has good quality is only in big cities, while those in remote areas, even isolation areas, are very difficult to achieve proper education. And as we know, those who are in areas that are difficult to reach need a very big struggle to reach school and to receive education. Their struggle to get through the swift river, their struggle to use a boat to reach school, their struggle to go through the forest to reach school and receive a proper education really need a very big struggle. This in contrast to big cities, they are easy to reach school and not by going through challenge that could have their lives left at stake. And for those who are there, they sacrifice their life to reach the school. Is this called proper education for all Indonesian citizens? Of course not, because proper education can only be enjoyed by people who are well off and who are in big cities, while those who are far away can only enjoy a massive education. The government should pay attention to its citizens who are in remote areas because they are also citizens of Indonesia. In terms of education, the government must also pay attention directly to how bad the education system in Indonesia is. Addressing education inequality. How to overcome education inequality? The first, to overcome education injustice, there are several steps that can be taken, including: the first is strengthening the national education system, that it is more equitable and affordable all levels of society. This can be done by improving the quality of education in existing schools, as well as providing wider access to education for children in remote areas. The second is provide financial assistance for underprivileged students, such as scholarship, tuition assistance, and others. This will help these students of attend a better education without having to worry about the cost. The third is strengthening the inclusive education system, namely an education system that is able to provide equal access to education for all students, including students with special needs. The the last is according gender equality in education. This can be done by providing equal access for male and female students, as will be providing support for female students so they can attend the same education male students.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Andini Tia Septiana. My student number 2017 40 2002. I'm from A Islamic Education class. In this video, I will explain one problem and its solution related to schools in Indonesia. This time, the problem I took on was the moral crisis of students in schools in Indonesia. Indonesia is known not only as a very beautiful country, but also as a very friendly and moral country. However, the student brawls, bullying, corruption cases, robberies, drugs, free sex, sexual harassment, murders, mutilation cases, and so on that are happening today make this assumption all disappear in an instant. It is undeniable that in life there must be problems. However, this indicated that Indonesian society is currently experiencing symptoms of moral degradation. The moral degradation that has occurred in this nation has hit various lines of society, one of which often occurs in the youth sector. The younger generation certainly has a very important role to play for a nation because the fate of the nation rests on its shoulders in the future. However, the current situation is that many teenagers or the younger generation are immoral and certainly far short of the expectation of the nation founders. Of course, there are aspects behind the rampant moral degradation of today's young generation. There are two important points that are considered to play a role in this matter, namely, family or parents and the environment, both inside and outside the school. The family is considered the most dominant factor in laying the foundation for moral development because it is the first madrasah for teenagers. However, in reality, many parents do not understand this role. Parents think that education for their children is sufficient in the realm of school, and the thing that is the main concern of parents for their children is only the issue of report cards. When they are good, they are praised, and when they are bad, they are scolded without asking their children's understanding of these subjects. Indirectly, parents pursue the idea that results are more important than the process. Therefore, it is important to build communication between parents and children. The solution that we can apply to overcoming this moral crisis is character education, both at school and in the surrounding environment. According to Ratna Megawangi in Istiqomah 2017, character education is an effort to educate children to be able to make wise decisions and practice them in everyday life so that they can make a positive contribution to their environment. Character education is the process of providing guidance to participants or students so they can become fully human. In Justani 2012. Character education has the basic function of developing a person's potential so that he can live his life by being kind. Within the scope of formal education, character education in schools function to shape the character of students into individuals who are noble, moral, tough, well-behaved, and tolerant in Zubaydi 2012 suggests three functions of character education in schools, including the first, the function of the formation and development of potential is to ensure that students are able to develop their potential to think well, have a good conscience, behave well, and be virtuous. The second one is function for strengthening and repair, improving and strengthening the roles of individuals, families, educational units, communities, and the government to carry out their responsibilities and participate in the developing the potential of groups, agencies, or societies in general. The third is use the filter function. Character education is used so that people can choose and sort their own nation culture and filter out other national culture that are not in accordance with the virtuous values of the nation's own character and culture. Moral education can be embodied in a variety of ways, including the following. The first is instilling character education in the family early on. Parents are one of the closest figures to children. Meanwhile, children are the next generation of the nation who need education and fulfillment of their right to be able to grow and develop according to the potential because good character can be formed from an early age, which is exemplified by parents. So, in fact, we as parents must be able to set ourselves as a good example so that it becomes the best duplicated for the development of children in the future. And the family environment is the beginning of or basis of forming student character. And the second one is choosing friends and associates in the right environment. Friendship and association greatly affect the character and basic traits of children because they come from within, especially during the adolescent stage when they are looking for identity. They are very easily influenced by others. As a result, parents should pay more attention to and monitor how their children interact outside the home and with whom they interact outside the home or family in order to maintain student character growth and development. The third is utilize science and technology development properly and accurately. The development of science and technology must be utilized properly and appropriately. With technology, we can easily access whatever we want. The rise of pornographic videos among teenagers can damage morale. Therefore, we must be able to monitor what access or sites our children see by accompanying them and providing proper education. If it is necessary to limit the hours spent using science and technology for the sake of our children's moral development, we can do so and provide appropriate guidance based on its function and benefits. The fourth, introducing and increasing faith and piety toward God Almighty. Introducing and increasing faith and piety toward God Almighty is important as a solution because anything that is based on faith and piety will not lead to negative things, even ordinary things. This is an initial foundation for children to know the limits of what they can do. We can remind us and make us aware that there is a God who is always watching over whatever we do, so that children are aware that whatever is done is the word. There must be consequences and accountability in the hereafter, and this is a benchmark for children's moral awareness. In compiling these texts, I took material references from several articles. Namely, the first is an article entitled Character Education Program in Overcoming the Moral Crisis in Schools, which was written in 2022 in the journal Basic Edu by Yeni Anggraini. The second is Problems of Moral Education in Schools and Efforts to Solve Them by Misbah Surut in 2010 in the Fikrah Journal. And the third is the urgency of character education in overcoming the moral crisis among students, and an article by Alia Malika Fagini, Yayang Fudi Purnamasari, and Dini Anggraini Dewi in 2021 in the Tambusai Education Journal. I think that's enough for me to say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Enu Sukmanisa Fikriya. We will discuss about school problems in Indonesia. There are two problems will I discuss. The first problem is the low reading culture of students and teachers is caused by several factors, namely, the first, misperception about the concept of reading ability in most people, including students and teachers. The second factor is the development of reading skill is still perceived as part of the responsibility language course. And the last factor is the facilities and service of the school library as a center have not been maximized development of students' reading skill. The solution we can do are the first, needs fixing quality and equity of education in order to encourage higher literacy rates. The second solution we can do it is take sustainable programs for more introduced book and encourage interest in reading books to schools and the general public. The last of the solution we can do is build more libraries in our area as a comfortable place to read, a large number of book collection and offer interesting activities. All I take from Lilik Tahmaden article Wawan Krismanto with the title Problems of Reading Cultural in Indonesia in the journal Education and Culture. The second problem is less optimal use of technology in education in Indonesia. ICT application in the field of education in Indonesia still in the early stage and still not maximally utilized due to uneven infrastructure support the application of technology. There are schools in Indonesia and their existence and preparedness of human research in supporting the application of ICT in the schools. The next solution we can do are the first, learners and teachers must have access to digital technology within an educational institution. The second solution we can do, there is quality material useful for teachers and students. Next, the last of solution we can do is teachers must have knowledge and skills in using media digital or learning media to help students to achieve academic standards and develop their potential. Also, I take from Amin Akbar and Nia Noviani's article entitled Challenge and Solution in the Development of Educational Technology in Indonesia. Maybe that's enough for me. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ismail Bashari. I will to discuss problem and solution school in Indonesia. Inadequate educational facilities. It is not only the cost of education that is a problem. Educational facilities also often hinder teaching and learning activities because there are many schools whose buildings are not suitable for use, or the lack of facilities such as study tables, charts, books, and technology equipment. These things, of course, can hinder teaching and learning activities, so that the education system in the school is less than optimal. On the other hand, problems such as unsuitable buildings can endanger students and teachers who use these buildings for everyday learning. Solutions. First, that is, we as education movers must have the intentions of fulfilling an infrastructure for the sake of the education of the next generation, so we must also be willing to sacrifice for the sake of the education we will have. Second, make a letter of fulfillment of educational infrastructure to the government so that we can be provided with proper and more secure facilities and infrastructure in the future with assistance from the government. Third, teachers must look for other alternatives to carry out learning by taking into account or changing learning methods outside the room, which can be called directing students to learn on-site by discussing together. Fourth, teachers must also be more creative in taking other ways of conducting learning by encouraging practice such as discussions in group with limited facilities or using learning methods by playing for the continuations of education. With that, students will also understand more and better understand the situation so that they are more enthusiastic about doing learning. Problem 2. Children in Indonesia stand a better chance of being in school than ever before. Yet around 4.3 million children and adolescents aged 7 until 18 years are still out of school. The poorest children, children with disabilities, and children living in underdeveloped parts of the country are most at risk of school exclusion. For example, 13 to 15-year-old junior secondary school or GSS children from the poorest households are 5 times more likely to be out of school than those from the wealthiest households. Geographically, the GSS out of school rates range from 1.3% in Yogyakarta, a relatively affluent city, to 22% in Papua, the country's easternmost province and the poorest. Recent analysis of the Intercensus data, or SUPAS 2015, suggests that 15.7% of school-age children with disabilities are not in school. Meanwhile, many children who do attend school struggle to acquire even basic academic skill. Less than half of 15-year-old students in Indonesia achieve a minimum level of proficiency in reading, and less than one-third of them did so in mathematics, or PISA 2015. Adolescents are also missing out on opportunities to develop their full potentials. Out of the 46 million adolescents in Indonesia, nearly a quarter of 15 to 19 years old are not in education, employment, or training. Youth unemployment is around 15%. Children's potentials is nurtured from the early years, and access to early childhood development, or ECD, has been steadily increasing under the government One Village, One ECD Center policy. However, the quality of ECD service requires major improvement in most places. The national ECD gross enrollment ratio stands at 72% in 2016 until 2015, but it's only 51% in Papua Province. The solutions: UNICEF worked with the government of Indonesia to improve access to and quality of education for the most marginalized children aged 3 until 18 years, including children with disabilities and those in humanitarian situations. Reducing the high number of out-of-school children remains a key priority for Indonesia to achieve sustainable the development goal for an inclusive and equitable education by 2030. UNICEF support focus on evidence generation, policy advocacy, and strengthening systems for equitable access to education, improve learning outcomes, and skills development for adolescents.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introducing myself, my name is Safatul Hasna. Study number 2017402008. I from group 1. Here I will explain about school problems in Indonesia. There are some interesting problems in my opinion, including first, learning curriculum. Second, teachers who are less professional. Third, the high cost of education. So, I will explain with some of the reference I'm looking for related to curriculum, issues in schools, and the solution. The learning curriculum is one of the important factors that influence the quality of learning because this curriculum is used as a reference for teaching. Nowadays, there are many circulating on social media about a student who complains about the Indonesia learning curriculum, Cheng Miniters, Cheng curriculum. In short, yes, indeed we cannot close our eyes and ears on this because the curriculum that is changed is the effective for student. Some student may be able to follow it well, but most complain about it. The reason is that we have just understood the old curriculum that was replaced. Students must begin to adapt again to the new curriculum, and there are many more things that must be fixed in the education curriculum system in Indonesia. Oke, di sini saya akan sedikit membahas terkait masalah ini dari jurnal According to the Journal 2013 Curriculum Problems and School Principal Interactional Leadership. The concern of many parties regarding the successful implementation of the curriculum 2013 is related to teacher readiness. The main actor who can influence teacher is the principal. His leadership will have a direct effect on the teacher performance. After we understand the concept of instructional leadership, we are sure that this concept will be one of the solutions to the chaos in implementing the curriculum 2013, which has drawn a lot of criticism and protests from various groups. Jadi dari permasalahan kurikulum ini banyak orang yang menentang dan banyak kritikan dari orang-orang. Nah, menurut Winata Putra 2013 bahwa who is one of the national education figure directly involved in the formulation of the curriculum 2013 in a meeting of the TPG Teacher Professional Education Curriculum Formulation Meeting in Palembang on January 2014 said for the successful implementation of the curriculum 2013, school principals must function as instructional leaders. Based on the concept of institutional leadership, in addition to formulating and socializing the school vision and mission, institutional leaders must always be concurrent with the curriculum. This kind of school principal always coordinates the curriculum, supervises and evaluates the curriculum, and monitors student progress. Instructor leaders also always focus on creating a learning climate among teachers. One element of this dimension is the principal concern for increasing teacher professionalism, such a drug to subjected teacher consultation. Therefore, school principals, especially those who position themselves as instructional leaders, will play a very decisive role in the successful implementation of the curriculum 2013. Principal can intervene in the implementation of the curriculum 2013 through curriculum management and teacher professional development program in school. So far, only 1 to 2 teachers have been involved in implementing the curriculum 2013. It should be appropriate of the principal is given an in-depth understanding in addition to the teacher regarding the implementation of the curriculum 2013, because the principal is one of the parties most responsible for the successful implementation of the curriculum 2013. A large number of research results also show the generally excellent school led by an instructional leader. Therefore, it can be said that if student achievement is to be grown and the school's reputation is boosted, the authorities involved in appointing school principals should ensure that those nominated and school participants must be taught with an instructional perspective, or those who give priority to academic interests, the instructional leader. The second problem in Indonesian school is teachers who are less professional. Guru yang tidak profesional. Maksudnya di sini adalah we all might have encountered teachers who were less professional in teaching during our school days. Many teachers who were not responsible for their profession, plus many empty hours, or the teacher who deliberately absent from class, or with teacher who teaching bringing their life problems to school so that teaching and learning activities are disrupted. This should not have happened. Jadi kebanyakan pendidik itu ada yang tidak profesional. Profesinya tidak profesional itu contohnya kayak gurunya itu suka-suka dia untuk mengajar seperti itu. But because of the lack of professionalism in the end, students only have the explicit sorry in learning activities. gampangnya kayak dengan kata maaf itu segampang itu, untuk mereka tidak profesional gitu. The solution according to the journal increase the professional competence of teachers through the development of information technology based learning media. The mentoring program can be carried out properly and run smoothly according to the activity plan that has been prepared, even though not all mentoring participants have mastered the material presented well. This activity received a very good response, as evidenced by the activeness of the participants improving to professional competence of teacher. Participant in mentoring by not leaving the place before the training time ends. Based on the evaluation that has been carried out, several suggestions can be put forward, including the time for carrying out community service activities need to be increased so that the objectives of the activity can be fully achieved, but with the consequence of adding implementation costs. Therefore, the cost of community service activities should not be the sum between the several teams proposing the proposal, bearing in mind that the target audience is different. Follow-up activities in the form of similar training are always held periodically so as to improve the ability of teachers to carry out the teaching and learning process. The third problem, according to the journal I read regarding to educational budget and the expensive cost of education. Salah satu permasalahan sekolah yang ada di Indonesia itu salah satunya adalah biaya sekolah yang mahal. Nah, capitalism education that is more concerned with income and ignores the right of the people to get an education will give rise to commercial educational institution. This educational institution will prioritize the quantity and income of the institution without controlling the quality of output, so that in the end it will produce graduates who are only pursuing diplomas to become civil servants, not to become creative people who can employ other people. It is a very sad reality because of a lack of fund. Children from poor groups will continue to drop out at the elementary, junior high, and high school levels without ever having the opportunity to enter tertiary institution. Not because they are academically incapable, but because they cannot afford the opportunity. Our national education system has become a battleground for the rich, in the arena of struggle for the rich. The poor children who become victims pile up very high. The immediate impact, the narrower the possibility of upward mobility through the education channel for them. Furthermore, this group will not be able to lift themselves out of poverty. There are several factors that cause the high cost of education, namely Yang pertama, the lack of government support and subsidies. Yang kedua, school funding budget are not effective and efficient. Yang ketiga, insufficient, there is democratization and transparency in school management. Yang keempat, weak supervision and control over school first collection from the government. Yang kelima, lack of teacher welfare. Yang keenam, there is no standardization of school operational costs. We can conclude that as a main pillar in the life of the state and nation, education has an important role that must be addressed in building the nation. Education is been marked in the welfare of a nation. Other sector will be neglected if education is not addressed first. Therefore, education needs to be given a higher portion of the budget to advance the nation. The education budget, which will conform to the Met of pada tahun 1945 ini, Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia, needs to be managed properly. Undang-Undang 1945. This is important to avoid the cost of education which can burden the people who are currently still mostly at the middle to lower economic level. The budget will not be effective no matter how big it is if it is not handled properly. The great will of the government, both central and regional, is needed. It is necessary to eliminate responsibility from the central and regional governments by realizing the importance of education for a nation. Planned programs from the head of the institution will be able to streamline the existing budget. In addition, efficient use must also be considered. Teachers in carrying out learning are expected to use a budget with high productivity. The media and tools used are expected to be more of a product of the teacher concurrent need so that funds can be streamlined. Meanwhile, people who may be overweight can participate more by supporting educational programs with funds. In the end, quality education at low cost and even free can be realized. So much explanation from me. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.